apparently I found this out just now about a deadly fungal storm sweeping America with toxic dust carrying disease. It's called coccidioides, and giant storms filled with potentially deadly fungal spores are set to sweep across at least 11 states this summer, with the worst conditions still weeks away. Meteorologists and health experts have warned that dust storms in the southwest will stir up dangerous fungal spores from the soil through September, potentially exposing millions to valley fever. This common illness is a lung infection caused by breathing in microscopic fungus particles called coccidioides that live in dry soil frequently blown around by strong desert winds. That's very worrisome since it's been very windy at night over here in Yuma, and I'm sure other neighboring states. Wow, and dust does blow in the air because you could feel it. So these spores turn into growing fungal cells that the immune system typically fights off, causing mild flu-like symptoms such as fever, cough, and headaches in most patients, but severe infections can spread to the organs and bones and become fatal. Illnesses could soon skyrocket as the Southwest, including California, Nevada, Arizona, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and Texas, enters the North American monsoon season, known for major thunderstorms and strong winds throughout the region. These winds kick up huge walls of dust, also known as haboobs, from the dry ground right when the soil is at its driest. The combination of extreme heat and drought plus monsoon wind creates more frequent and intense dust storms carrying spores. Great. Valley fever cases tend to start peaking in October, a few weeks or months after the dust storms, because it takes time for the fungus to grow after people inhale the spores. And they're saying this is caused due to climate change. Forecasters have already issued air quality alerts this week as massive domes of high pressure trap smoke, haze, and dust closer to the ground for people to breathe in. What fun! Look at these photos. Oh my, not a good thing. Other states, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, noted as being likely breeding grounds for coccidioides, includes part of Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and southern Wyoming. However, the health agency warned that the potential range of coccidioides spores could spread over the entire western half of the U.S. from Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, and the Dakotas to the Pacific coast. In June, AccuWeather's climate experts warned that the U.S. could suffer from a mini dust bowl if the current El Nino weather pattern in the Pacific leads to a multi-year drought. The historic Dust Bowl of the 1930s caused a major environmental disaster across the central U.S. and Great Plains, bringing severe drought and destroying farmland. Wow, I guess they want to try all these things. A new dust bowl in areas where the CDC says it is possible for coccidioides to live could expose tens of millions of Americans to the hazardous spores as dust storms intensify. Researchers have found that cases of valley fever have already risen dramatically in recent years throughout the Southwest, alerting, although experts are not sure exactly what is causing the infections to increase so fast. A 2017 study in the journal Geophysical Research Letters noted that in the Southwest frequented by dust storms, the infection rate of valley fever has mysteriously gone up more than 800% from 2000 to 2011. The team from the NOAA Air Resources Lab and George Mason University also noted that there was a 240% increase in the number of giant dust storms in the 2000s compared to the 1990s. Wow. Wonderful. They concluded that the main cause was climate change, of course, making the region drier. Moreover, tiny shifts in sea surface temperatures in the northern Pacific Ocean helped drive stronger winds and drier conditions that stirred up more dust. Coccidioides grows naturally in dry, sandy soils in certain arid parts of the world, like the Southwest. It thrives in alkaline-rich soils with hot summers, mild winters, and low rainfall, and is generally harmless to most people most of the time, unless it's being blown into the air and inhaled into the lungs, like when it's very super mega windy. And I try to stay out of the wind. But I have a son that likes to go for walks, and he doesn't listen to me when I tell him, look, there's dust blowing around. You don't want to get valley fever, but he doesn't listen, Sons don't listen sometimes. While the CDC has called these infections rare, the agency admitted that some outbreaks happen in places where scientists did not expect the fungus to live. Celeste Saulo, Secretary General of the World Meteorological Organization, told BBC Science Focus, sand and dust storms do not just mean dirty windows and hazy skies. They harm the health and quality of life of millions of people and cost many millions of dollars through disruption to air and ground transport, on agriculture, and on solar energy production. Yeah, the CDC has urged anyone in the path of a dust storm this summer to stay indoors and shut all windows until the air is clear. Yeah, I do that, sure. But some people don't care. They think they're invincible, like my son. One of them, anyway. The other one stays inside all the time, so I don't have to worry about him. But look at this. To avoid valley fever, the Arizona Department of Health Services in Maricopa County said avoid dusty areas such as construction and excavation sites as much as possible. If you can't avoid them, wear an N95 mask or respirator while at these sites. They added that locals should water down desert soil before spreading it to reduce the chances of becoming airborne dust. Oh, okay. That's a good idea. Okay. Oh, well, I'm not spreading any. Okay, yeah, I see. Spreading the soil? Yeah, no, I'm not doing this. That's different. For drivers, the National Weather Service urged any driver who sees a dust storm coming to pull aside, stay alive, meaning they should move their car off the road, shut the windows, and use recirculating air conditioning if available until the storm passes. So that's it. That's it. It's just really freaky. I just found out about this at a TikTok video on YouTube, but they didn't give much information, so I looked it up and I found this article. There's a lot of articles about this. See, I already knew about valley fever, but I didn't get this kind of information before. It's scary, but whatever. That's what it is. What it is. You just have to be careful. That's all.